we are back with another banger. So please smash that like button, you guys, and subscribe. And yeah, man, we're gonna talk Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. possibly going down, you guys, in November. Yes, you heard it here right, man. It's looking like both of these guys on the collision course. They've been on the collision course for a while now. And it's just time. I think it's time for both of these guys to really implement their game plan and get the job done. I want to see both of these guys fight. Um, I know you guys do as well. This is a fight that's been in the making for a while now. So as far back as I can remember, both of these guys have been wanting to get in the ring or have been, talked about in the same instance. You got Terence Crawford on one hand, switching southpaw, can fight you on orthodox or can fight you southpaw. He's a switch hitter. He's one of the best switch hitters that we have in boxing today. And I just love the way Terence Crawford, flows so freely and in the ring, man. He knows when to turn it on. He knows when to, bite down and get the fans what they want, which is a knockout. He knows, some of his style is not fan friendly when he does box. But how can you say it's not fan friendly when lately all he's been doing is getting knockouts? Terence Crawford is one of those fighters to beat. If you want to talk about a fighter to beat, you got to talk about Terence Crawford's name being at the top of fighters to beat. When you guys come in, as soon as you guys come in, please smash that like button, you guys. You already know, man. It's Corey Lee Boxing, baby, and we're definitely back with a banger. Smash that like button for us, man, as soon as you watch this. That's all I ask you guys is to share it and to hit that like button. That's all I ask you guys to do. So yeah, Terence Crawford right now is 38-0, you guys, with 29 big wins by way of knockout, you guys. He's staying at a height of 5'8". His reach is 74-inch reach. He's right now currently the WBO welterweight champion of the world, and he's had that belt. He's had that belt for a while now. He's had that belt all the way back when he fought. You can really all the way back until 2014. He had the WBO strap. He had the WBO strap at junior welterweight, which is at 140 pounds. He had the WBO first when he went across U.S. soil, and he went to Ricky Burns' backyard at the Scottish Exhibition Center in Glasgow. That was a big fight for Terence Crawford because a lot of people, were saying, Ricky Burns was trying to give him step aside money, and that's what Terence Crawford even said. He said in an interview, he said, "No, I had waited long enough at that point, and I wanted my title shot." Before that, Terence Crawford in 2013 had the WBO NABO junior lightweight. At this time, I correct myself. At this time, it was not for the junior welterweight. It was for the lightweight title, which is at 135 pounds. It's the title that it's the same weight class that Lomachenko, Devin Haney, George Kambosos, Teofimo Lopez was in that weight division. Now he's at junior welterweight, so it's the lightweight division. You guys got to understand, Terence Crawford started at the small weight division, at 135 pounds, you guys. Yes. Terence Crawford did start his career at 135 pounds. The more I think about it, you guys, and the more I break down this fight, Terence Crawford has been in the game for a while. He's seen a lot of styles. You guys, a lot of people might want to say, well, he didn't fight anybody, or well, he didn't fight this person, or he didn't fight this person. The more I look at Terence Crawford and the more I break down this fight stylistically, man, Terence Crawford has been in there with some bangers, and he's done a lot of things that people weren't doing up until that point with his opponents that was in front of him, or his world champions that was in front of him. As soon as you guys come in, you guys smash that like button. And I feel like right now, smash that like button as soon as you guys come in. I feel like right now, you guys, Terence Crawford is one of the best fighters in the entire world of boxing, if not the best fighter in the world of boxing, man. I studied some videos of him today, and I took a real close look at Terence Crawford, man. And what I came out with was, this guy can bang with you, he can box with you, and he's very calculated. He likes to go in there and he likes to eventually finish his opponents. But he will box with you, and he goes off of pretty much what you're giving him. If you're a laid back boxer, he'll press the action. You know what I'm saying? If you're a boxer that likes to bang, he'll box. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things, man. He tries to do what and then when he finds your weakness, when he finds your weaknesses, like he did in the Ndongo fight, he wouldn't let Ndongo move certain directions and stuff like that. I seen in that Ndongo fight, he was cutting off the ring and he was showing Ndongo, pretty much like you've never been in a style like this before. And you're in for a world of hurt, man. I watched some of the, pre-fight build-up to some of these fights, and a lot of these opponents, man, they were talking a lot of shit, man. Leading up into these Crawford showdowns. You got guys like Felix Diaz. He was an Olympic, I believe, gold medalist at that time. He had only lost one fight. Terence Crawford stopped him. Terence Crawford stopped him, and that was Felix Diaz was coming off of a good win. When he fought Terence Crawford, he came off of a good win. He was 19-1, and he came off a good win. And what I seen in the John Molina fight really opened my eyes. Smash that like button. If I guys ask you one thing to do when you guys come in here, is smash that like button, man. We're giving you a Tuesday burn session, man. This is fire, dude. Definitely turn your ovens off. I got the fire orange on today for you guys. Back-to-back days, man. D-Lo Boxing in the chat says Diaz's loss is going and was viewed by many. He said, and viewed by many as a robbery versus Lamont. Yeah. And he had, but I just feel like, Diaz had came off of a good win. And, he had beat, some okay opponents leading up into that fight. So I just feel like Felix Diaz was a really good fighter leading up into that fight. If you guys remember back in 2017, I don't know where you guys' mind frame was at in 2017, back in May 20th of 2017. Felix Diaz was pretty good at that time. I'm not even going to lie. A lot of people forgot who Felix Diaz was. I know I'm pretty sure he stopped fighting now because I haven't heard of him in a while. But yeah, he fought Sammy Vasquez. That's what happened. He gave Sammy Vasquez his first loss. And remember, Sammy Vasquez was, with the army and all of that stuff, and people were building him up as a hype, and Felix Diaz, had knocked him down a couple times in the fight, and it was, they had remember in that fight, in the Sammy Vasquez versus Felix Diaz fight, they called the fight incorrectly. They announced it as a draw. That's another thing. It might have been Sammy Vasquez that would have fought Terence Crawford instead of Felix Diaz if Sammy Vasquez could have got that W. But he lost, and right after that, right after he beat him, he fought a guy pretty much like a tune-up guy, 14-3. Felix Diaz did, and Morales, Cibian Morales, and then he fought Terence Crawford right after that, you guys. So Felix Diaz is definitely a good name on Terence Crawford's resume. If you guys are coming in just now, please, whatever you do, smash that like button. Let's get these likes up, man. For real, man. I really ask you guys. I don't ask you guys for a lot. A lot of you guys watch the joint every day. You don't never donate. But if you guys can just tap that like button, I love that. I love that shit. So yeah, back to what we were saying. So Terence Crawford's resume is pretty good, and the more I look at it, the more I break down this fight systematically and stylistically. What he did to Jeff Horn really put Terence Crawford on the map. If he wasn't on the map before, it put him on the map because remember, Jeff Horn was coming off the Manny Pacquiao win. Okay? Jeff Horn was coming off the Manny Pacquiao win. So when you're coming off of a Manny Pacquiao win like that and a monumental W, okay? Because remember, Manny Pacquiao had been supposed to fight Terence Crawford, man. But for whatever reason, Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford did not fight, man. They never fought. And you know, Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao was supposed to fight, but they never fought. But guess who did fight Manny Pacquiao? Smash that like button, you guys. Jeff Horn. He fought Manny Pacquiao and he won. He beat Manny Pacquiao. So, you know, I remember leading up into the Jeff Horn Terence Crawford fight, it was a lot building up on that. Was he gonna fight Terence Crawford? Were they gonna, you know, were they gonna drop the belts? They didn't know exactly what they were gonna do at the time. I remember him and his father, you know, saying, well, you know, if Terence Crawford wants the belt, he's gotta come out here to get the belt. And they were saying a lot of stuff, man. I remember leading up into that fight, man. It was a lot of build up and a lot of, you know, people saying that, you know, Terence Crawford wanted it his way, you know, and you know, I guess Jeff Horn saying, look, I beat the man that beat the man. You got to come see me straight up, you know? And I was just like, wow, man, I was in awe when he told him that, man. I was like, wow, man. So, you know, right now, you guys, I'm going to be honest. I think moving forward, I think, you know, both of these guys can and will, you know, pose a threat to each other. But I just, when I watched Terence Crawford today, I studied him, you know, pause. I studied him and I systematically I broke down what I really thought could happen in this fight. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I really think Terence Crawford is apart from the rest. Like when I seen some of Terence Crawford's training regimens and what he was really doing in the ring, man, it was just wild, man. Shout out to Jose. Said, man, what the fuck? I done heard this so many times. ATB, this shit's ridiculous. Yeah, I know. I'm tired of hearing it too, Jose, man. Shout out to Jose in the chat, man. This is one of the only fights I want to see, man. Smash that like button as soon as you guys come in. Let's definitely get these likes up, man. Let's definitely get these likes up. But yeah, Terence Crawford did his thing against Jeff Horn. He went in there, he handled business, and he got the knockout. He eventually got the stoppage. You know, he was winning on all scorecards, 80 to 72, 80 to 72, and 80, and excuse me, Adam Hyatt 80-72 as well. So, I mean, a lot of people thought that, you know, he was winning that fight leading up into that knockout. And it just showed, man, you know, Jeff Horn at that time, we cannot say Jeff Horn was beaten or, you know, one of those things and stuff like that because at the time he was 18-0 with one draw. And, man, he just came off a victory against a Hall of Fame legend. Some would rate in his prime the best, you know, little guy to ever walk the face of earth, which was Manny Pacquiao. Jeff Horn beat him. Okay, and you know, right after that, he fought Terence Crawford. You know, right after that, so it was a really good showdown, man. And one of the best showdowns that I've seen right after the Jeff Horn fight. You got to give this guy credit, man, because you know now that we took a step back and we're starting to look at you know some of Terence Crawford's opponents. You know, you got to really give this guy credit, man, because right after the Jeff Horn fight, he fought Jose Benavidez Jr., you guys. Yeah, he fought Jose Benavidez Jr. And at the time, Jose Benavidez Jr. was undefeated. Yes, he was undefeated, you guys. He was 27-0. And you know, he was the older brother, but the smaller brother of David Benavidez, the undefeated, you know, what is it? What is it? Super middleweight champion of the world. Well, former super middleweight champion of the world because he's so big, but he should be fighting at 175, to be honest. That's what a lot of fighters say. And that's what I think that's what Charlo said already. The plan. I don't want to mess, you know, what they said up, so I'm paraphrasing here. But one of the top champions said that you know, he needs to move his big ass, and I quote, you know, and I paraphrase, he needs to move his big ass to 175, you know, to light heavyweight. You know, he's big as shit fighting at this weight at 168. People know that he rehydrates to excess of 185 pounds. I've heard of as high as 190. Like I said, those are just speculations. But David Benavidez is pretty big, man. Pause. But yeah, man, Jose Benavidez is his older but younger brother. And at the time he was undefeated, Terence Crawford fought him. And Terence Crawford actually beat him. Yes, he did, you guys. It was a crazy build-up. A lot of fans was at the fight, and it was in Omaha, Nebraska. You know, it was at the Shot Health Center. which Terence Crawford has fought there, I believe, before. And like I said, it was one of those things, man. He turned it up. He turned it up. A lot of people know that Terence Crawford is a technical fighter, but I feel like in that specific fight, it was a lot building up onto that fight and that Benavidez. Remember, if you guys remember, he almost hit Jose Benavidez Jr. in the weigh-in. Remember, he came. This was Jose Benavidez's face, and this was Terence Crawford. He literally narrowly missed the chin of Jose Benavidez Jr., man, and that would have ended the fight. I feel like that fight might not have took place if it was for that, because you never know. I mean, these sanctioning bodies, will and can suspend, fighters, or, ban them and stuff like that. And he almost hit one of the guys on the side as well, man. So Jose Benavidez Jr. was a really good opponent. He actually stopped him in the 12th and final round. I believe it was only 18 seconds to go. And Terence Crawford did what he was supposed to do. He finished him. You know, and then after that, he fought Amir Khan. As you guys know, Amir Khan is a good fighter, man. I'm not taking anything away from Amir Khan. I'm not taking anything away from Amir Khan. Amir Khan is definitely a good fighter. For sure, 100%, he's a good fighter. But Terence Crawford, he fought Amir Khan, knocked him out, stopped. Well, he really made Amir Khan quit. He made Amir Khan quit. I've never seen Amir Khan in that much distress. Sometimes when you quit, it hits your career different. And remember, leading up into that fight, Amir Khan was never talking about retirement. He wasn't really talking about it. He wasn't. He was like, I'm gonna beat Terence Crawford. My career is gonna be rejuvenated. Everything is gonna happen different from this point forward. That's the type of tone he was talking with leading up into that Amir Khan Terence Crawford fight. But when that Amir Khan and Terence Crawford fight went down, Amir Khan got knocked down a couple times, and it was a brutal knockdown too. I believe it was in round number 1. It was in the first round of that fight, and he got knocked down. And boy, was it! It was one of those fights, you guys, when you look back and you're like, wow, he punished Amir Khan, and pretty much sent him into early retirement and made him quit. Which was the key factor in that fight. When a fighter quits like that, it's different, man. It's different. It hits a fighter different when a fighter quits like that. And yeah, man. So then he fought Ivis Kavalauskas. He got stunned in that fight. He definitely got hurt in that fight. Came back and won, stopped him. Kavalauskas down in round 7 and twice in round 9. So he wound up beating him 21-0 with one draw. Another undefeated fighter that he beat. Knocked him out as well, man. Then he fought Kell Brook, and that was in 2020. He fought Amir Khan in 2019. He fought Kell Brook. Remember, Amir Khan and Kell Brook are arch rivals. So he beat both of the guys, and he stopped both of the arch rival guys. So there's a big thing about Kell Brook and Amir Khan. They finally fought and hashed it out. But I mean, leading up, these two guys were going at it, man. They were on a collision course. So yeah, knocked out Kell Brook, and then when he beat Sean Porter, you guys, that really showed me a lot. That showed me that Sean Porter, it was different. When I mean different, it was a different type of beatdown. It was Porter was definitely trying to win. He had the war trunks on and everything. He was trying to win, but Crawford brung something that I don't even think Sean Porter was ready for. And he stopped him viciously. And Sean Porter got back up, but his dad eventually threw in the towel and sent Sean Porter into early retirement. You guys, early retirement again. So that's two fighters. With I believe Kell Brook was thinking about retirement too after he fought Terence Crawford. So you got Amir Khan talking about retirement after he fought Terence Crawford. Kell Brook talking about retirement after he fought Terence Crawford. and Sean Porter went into and is still in retirement after fighting Terence Crawford, man. The guy's different, man. The guy is different, man. You guys got to give this guy credit. He's beat some really good fighters. And I think you guys should give him a little bit more credit than what some of you guys have been giving him lately, man. But let's go down the list of, Errol Spence Jr. That's who he's supposed to be fighting next, right? That's what they talking about, November, right? Right before Thanksgiving, man. Sounds awesome to me. Sounds awesome to me. I can't wait to pay $75 or $100 for a Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. showdown. I just paid $75, or some people paid $74.99 for Luis Ortiz, okay, versus Andy Ruiz. 75 fucking, excuse my language. I know a couple of you guys, kids might watch this or whatever, but what the fuck, man? $75 for that shit, which turned out to be a good fight. I'm not taking nothing away from Andy Ruiz, okay? Some will say Andy Milonakis, but that's a different, the body types, the body types, But Andy Ruiz is a tough fighter. But a lot of people, like casual fans that I talk to all the time, and they're like, yo, how the hell does he knock people out looking fat like that? And I'm just being honest. That's what they say about Andy Ruiz. And it's alarming. A lot of people think that, Andy Ruiz, and then even Beebs from Ringside Reporter was like, I don't like Andy Ruiz at 270. But Andy Ruiz was saying that he's at 270 because, that's the fight where he could absorb some of Luis Ortiz's, punches. That's how he was able to do that. He says, bodies don't make a boxer. It goes to show. Yeah, it does. You're right about that. Shout out to Rage in the chat, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You got D-Lo404, Jose, Rage. What's happening, man? Smash that like button as soon as you guys come in, man. Let's definitely get these likes up. But yeah, let's go down. I just went down. If you guys are just joining, I just went down Terence Crawford's resume. Let's go down Errol the Truth Spence's resume. Yes. Got to bring it up, man. The fight possibly could be going out in November. I'm going to do a quick little roundup about this fighter. I feel like Errol Spence is a really good candidate for Fighter of the Year. In life. I mean, the guy, he says, so who you got? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you who I'm favoring at the end of this video. I'm going to tell you. But I just broke down Terence Crawford's resume. I feel like Jeff Horn was a good win. Felix Diaz was a good win. Kell Brook was a good win because we seen Kell Brook later go on to eliminate Amir Khan. And he got a couple good wins on his resume, Terence Crawford did. I'm not going to say all of his wins, were A-class fighters, but, he has a couple of reputable, names, and that's why people want to see this fight so much. So Errol Spence, 28-0, 22 big wins by way of knockout. You guys, he is 32 years of age. He's southpaw, 5'9", so he's an inch and a half taller than Terence Crawford, okay? And he's got a pretty good reach as well, 72-inch reach, which a lot of people overlooked that. He's got Terence Crawford had a 74-inch reach, okay? And Errol Spence's reach is pretty comparable. He's at a 72-inch reach. All right? So, yeah, man. So, let's go down what Errol Spence has done. What have you done for me lately, man? We can go way back when. I'm not going to go with the Philip DeGreco, the Chris Van Herdens, the Barreras, the Chris Algieri, the Bondus. We know he was supposed to beat all of those. Where I am going to start at is at the Kell Brook fight, okay? Many thought, some thought that this was a 50-50 fight, me included. I feel like if Kell Brook's eye didn't get messed up or it was a lot of what ifs, but the main thing was his eye. If his eye didn't get fucked up, I feel like Kell Brook had a chance to win that fight, even at the end of that fight. But his eye, was disobedient. It didn't listen to him. Smash that like button, you guys. It just didn't work. But Kell Brook going into that fight was 31-0. Excuse me, 36-1. And he just lost to Triple G. So a lot of people didn't give Errol Spence full credit for that fight, being that he lost to Triple G. He took the money in that Triple G fight. I believe it was like $5 million. But yeah, so he fought, Kell Brook fought Errol Spence. That was a good fight. Brook was down in the 10th round and again in the 11th. And then, Errol Spence wound up finishing the deal off, man. I believe it was in the 11th round. Leading up into that fight, the judges had it 97-92, 96-93, and 95-94, even with the 2 knockdowns. And going into in the 11th round. So the fight was fucking close, man. If it wasn't for the knockdowns and it wasn't for Kell Brook's eye, the fight could have went either way. Just being honest with you guys. Smash that like button, you guys. Then he fought Lamont Peterson. Okay, he finally is the IBF champion of the world now. Now he's fighting Lamont Peterson. Lamont Peterson was a good fighter from Baltimore. Trained at the Headbangers Gym. Errol Spence knocked Peterson down in round number 5, and then he finished him, you guys. And it was a good fight. It was a pretty good fight for as long as it lasted, but it was a one-sided fight. Lamont Peterson was getting thrashed, and he thought about retirement after that. If he didn't retire, I believe he possibly retired not too long after that. Then he fought Carlos Ocampo, which I didn't really think it was an undefeated fighter, but Carlos Ocampo was at this level. Errol Spence was at this level, and I just feel like the gap with the competitive gap was so large. I just knew that Spence was gonna knock out Ocampo, but I just didn't know what round. He wound up stopping Ocampo's, but like I said, it was a one-sided fight as well. Then he fought Mikey Garcia. If you guys want to know, man, let me know what you guys think in the comment section of what you guys think that Errol Spence's toughest fight was. Let me know in the comment section, man. I got a good question for you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. What was Errol Spence's toughest fight to date? Okay. Ray says, so who you got? Ray says, I still got Crawford. Light Skin Business says, is this a fact? They're talking about it. They're talking about it 75% done with the negotiations. Errol Spence said in a recent interview, he said, the fight is going to happen. And, all signs are pointing to November. That's what it's looking like to me after reading all the articles and going through all of the, the news and rumors and everything. And, just listening to the fighters talk themselves. I feel like the fight is definitely going to go down in 2022. But it's going to go down at the end of 2022, I believe. Ray says, so Fury wants a 60-40 fight, AJ fight. Laugh out loud. Hey. Anthony Joshua has a chance to, redeem himself and win those belts. If I'm Eddie Hearn, though, I give Anthony Joshua a couple warm-up fights. That Usyk fight was fucked up to his mind, his psyche. He needs to get a couple fights to get his brain acclimated to, a lot slower punches, I feel like, in Tyson Fury than Alexander Usyk. The reach might be different as well, and the foot movement might be comparable, but Usyk is very hard to study for or train for. I feel like, Alexander Usyk's a once-in-a-lifetime type of fighter, and, yeah. Ray says, you guys, I think. You guys what? You think Errol Spence's toughest fight so far was your Danish you guys for Errol Spence? I can see that. But I don't know, man. I think the Danny Garcia fight was. What about the Danny Garcia fight? What about that one, Rage? I think the Danny Garcia fight was. Or you can say Errol Spence's toughest fight was the Sean Porter fight. Okay? Some people say Sean Porter won that fight. Okay, and look what Terence Crawford did to Sean Porter. Styles make fights. But when I tell you Sean Porter was mentally fucked up in that Terence Crawford, after that Terence Crawford fight, you could just tell the way he banged banged on the canvas after that last knockout, that final knockdown where his dad actually stopped the fight. It fucked up Sean Porter's mental, man. For real, man. D-Lo 404 says he thinks Errol Spence's toughest fight is the Sean Porter or Kell Brook fight. Yeah, Errol Spence is a very, very good athlete and a very, very good boxer. Southpaw. I cannot wait for this fight to go down, man. They're talking November. Rage is saying you guys did wobble him. Yeah, but I feel like, but for the most fight, it was a one-sided fight. To be honest with you, Rage. I feel like in the you guys fight, it was more one-sided than the Sean Porter versus Errol Spence fight. You guys got to understand, just because the guy wobbles him, he's got to do something consistently after that, each and every round. You can't just have one. You can't just think that this fighter is just because he wobbled him in one round doesn't mean that he's gonna win every single round. After that, you guys did well in that one round, but I feel like Errol Spence was pressing the action, and he was doing a lot of things that frustrated you guys. And at the end of that fight, you guys' face looked a mess. It was a bloody mess. His woman was crying. Facts. It was a tough fight, man. Brutal fight, man. It was a brutal fight, man. The more I think about it and the more I break down this fight, man, Errol Spence did damage to his opponents. Now, I'm not saying that Terence Crawford doesn't. But what I am trying to tell you is that Errol Spence puts a level of pressure on his opponents that eventually, breaks him. And I'm just being honest with that. I'm completely honest with that. Rage in the chat says, yeah, after that, it was a beatdown. Yeah, see, that's what I'm trying to explain to you, man. He said, yeah, after that, it was a beatdown. And then Rage says, yeah, he fucked him up, LOL. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, man. You guys' face after that, Errol Spence fight was a mess. It looked like, literally it looked like he was getting hit with, it didn't look like his face didn't look like, they just got finished a boxing match. It looked more like, it was more like a fight that the guy didn't have any gloves on. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It looked like, Errol Spence didn't have any gloves on and all he had was his hand wraps on. That's how you guys' face looked after that, Errol Spence versus you guys fight. It looked wild as shit, man. You guys did not look the same, and I'm not sure if you guys will be the same after that fight. That was a brutal fight, man. I've never seen Errol Spence do that to a guy's face that brutal. It looked like he broke bones in you guys' face. Now, you guys has healed, and I've seen him smiling and carrying on, with his wife again. But you guys took some severe damage in that fight, man, which kind of worried me for you guys' sake. Just because I think you guys wants to stay at the top level and might stay at welterweight when Errol Spence and when Terence Crawford moves up in weight, okay? But enough with the you guys, man. Another thing I want to talk about too, man. How likely is a Terence Crawford fight with Jermell Charlo, the 154-pound undisputed champion of the world? Can Terence Crawford get locked into a 2-fight deal with PBC? And if he wins the Errol Spence fight, could they get him in a fight with another undisputed champion? Because if Terence Crawford wins and beats Errol Spence, I'm not saying that he is, but I'm just saying if he does, okay, because the fight hasn't happened yet. So if he does beat Terence Crawford, if Errol Spence loses to Terence Crawford has already actively called out Jermell Charlo, okay? He's already actively called out Jermell Charlo. So I feel like, man, if that fight were to go down, man, I feel like that fight would be awesome. I feel like Jermell Charlo would have the weight advantage for sure, being the bigger, stronger fighter. But I feel like Terence Crawford is better mentally than Jermell Charlo. We've seen Jermell Charlo, act wild as shit in and outside of the ring. But you guys gotta understand, Jermell Charlo, he knows when to lock it in. He's won all of his rematches, so I gotta get a guy credit, man. I gotta get a guy credit. Even though him and Jared Hurd never fought, I feel like that was a fight that us fans really, really wanted to see. And I feel like that was a fight that, a lot of fans would love to have seen, but like I said, man, I don't know where Jared Hurd is at mentally since the loss of his father. So I would love to see Jared Hurd back in the ring and winning form again. He did lose to George Arias or something. I can't remember his name, but his last name is Arias. But he lost to him, and now we don't really know. That fight's in limbo. I wouldn't be surprised if Jermell Charlo were to fight, Jared Hurd, but I would like to see Jermell Charlo fight the winner of Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. I feel like that fight would be, awesome to watch, man. Me as a fight fan, I would just love to see that fight, man. But yeah, man, Terence Crawford is up there in age now. I don't know how much longer he wants to fight. It's looking like he's going to continue to fight, well into his 30s. But look, man, we got to see, man. That's why I said this fight is going to be so good, man. It's going to be so good because you got two guys that really, really want to fight each other and that have the courage and the willpower to get this fight done. I feel like both fighters definitely want to fight. And we just got to see. We got to see, man. We got to see what they do. But yeah, man, I'm going to wrap this live stream up, man. I've been burning for almost over 30 minutes. I said I was only going to go about 30 minutes. But we don't put a timetable on the Quarterly Boxing live streams. We just keep burning. So yeah, Cuba's Aris. Yup, that's who it was. That's who Jared Hurd lost to. I think he should have won that fight too, man. But he switched trainers, and Ernesto really could bring out, that style of Jared Hurd that I feel like could be, Jermell Charlo. But like I said, I don't know if he would ever get back with Ernesto. That bridge is probably burned by now. Both guys, they respectfully went their other ways and stuff. And I just wish that would have been a hell of a fight, man, to see Jared Hurd, in his winning ways and champion to fight another champion in Jermell Charlo. That would have been an awesome fight to watch, man. It really would have. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section, man. Like I said, I burned for almost 40 minutes. I would love to know what you guys think in the comment section, man. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this live stream up. Man, it's looking like November, you guys. Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. could be going down in November, you guys. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comment section. And please smash this like button and subscribe. And if you want to donate, you can donate to Quarterly Boxing's Cash App at Quarterly Boxing. It goes directly to the kid. So thank you guys for watching. This is Quarterly Boxing, and you've definitely been hit with another banger.